Looks like Cliff Booth might have a little competition on who's the new cool stunt guy in cinema. Showtime, folks. So, guys, I just got out of watching Fall Guy, which is the newest release of Ryan Gosling's filmography. Now, Ryan Gosling's had himself a nice little slate of films recently, and he's just capitalizing off of that right now with The Fall Guy. Now, if you've watched some of the marketing for this movie, um, you kind of gotten the gist. And Fall Guy really follows Ryan Gosling's character, who is a stuntman who is trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with Emily Blunt's movie within the movie. And things get a little complicated. Without going into any spoilers or anything like that, I try to give you guys a clean view of the film without spoiling anything. Now, I gotta say, this was a positive experience. I really enjoyed the movie. I did kind of rush in there because I was trying to get this out as soon as I possibly could. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple of pros and a couple of cons of what I thought about the movie and what I thought generally about the movie. So starting off with the pros, I do want to give it up for the marketing team. Now, you don't hear that a lot from people that talk about, the films that they're watching, but I really do have to commend the marketing team because in recent years, I feel like we've gotten a lot of movie trailers that spoil the movie before you get in there, and they don't give you a lot to look forward to. They just kind of tell you exactly what the movie's going to be without letting you go experience the film for yourself. And the marketing team in this movie really set it up to be something that it didn't really turn out to be. Now, you still got your action, you still got your comedy, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But what you get is a unique film that isn't foreshadowed in the trailer. And that is refreshing to me, and I really enjoyed that. So bravo to the marketing team. My second pro, Ryan Gosling. I mean, Ryan Gosling, he in recent years he could do no wrong. I mean,
right as always.
I know he got a lot of attention for his role as Ken in Barbie.
Sublime!
But in this film, Ryan Gosling does the stunt men of the world proud because he just goes out there and he just lays it all out there, and it's a fun experience to follow throughout the movie. Third pro I have is the action sequences. The action sequences in this film were actually really entertaining when they happen, and we'll get into that a little bit, but particularly one that I enjoyed was in a sort of club sequence. It gave me like, Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of feels, as far as particularly one sequence where Ryan Gosling's in a club and there's this just different aesthetic that the movie takes in approaching the sequence and how he's visualizing the things that are going on around him. It's really entertaining, and it's a different experience than what you would normally get in an action movie. Another pro I have is that the comedy hits. There's different points in this film where you're getting different pieces of dialogue, and it gets a little bit dialogue heavy, but it's refreshing to see that a lot of the comedy hits. I heard a lot of people in the theater with us that were laughing, and they were laughing out loud, and they were kind of just joking on the side because of the things that were going on screen. And to me, that was a really good sign as far as how the film was progressing. So I had to give all those pros to The Fall Guy. Getting into my cons, The Fall Guy is a little bit talk heavy. Now, if you've watched the trailer, like I said, I gave the marketing team some, a round of applause because they did a very good job. However, what is marketed is that you're going to get this action comedy full of just Ryan Gosling being Ryan Gosling. And there are certain portions of the film where you do get that, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, there are also talk heavy portions of the film that people that are going into it for complete action comedy might not enjoy. This is definitely a talky comedy. And although they do try to poke fun at themselves for being a little bit exposition heavy, there were certain points of the film that dragged for me personally. And that's just me. Maybe I just was watching it with tired eyes, or maybe I just wasn't buying into the exposition as much as the action and the romantic parts of the film that they were trying to get me involved in. But I do think that that's something to note. But as far as cons go, that's pretty much it. I mean, it just feels like it drags a little bit, and it kind of slowed the pacing a little bit. But as far as the experience goes cinematically, there's a lot to enjoy in The Fall Guy. The characters, the backup characters, everybody does a very good job of selling this over the top action comedy, and it works. It's a enjoyable experience. It's definitely a popcorn movie, like I like to say, and there's really nothing too negative about The Fall Guy. Now, getting onto my rating, The Fall Guy, doesn't really reinvent the action wheel. You have that kind of comedy that you've come to expect from Ryan Gosling whenever he does take on comedic kind of performances. I felt like it was fun, but not enough for me to say that it's really reinventing the wheel. So The Fall Guy to me is a 3 out of 5. Ask yourself if you feel lucky. And the reason you have to ask yourself if you feel lucky is because The Fall Guy depends a lot on whether or not you're going to buy into Ryan Gosling's comedy and whether or not you're going to like prolonged action sequences after having listened to a lot of dialogue heavy areas of the movie. The action sequences that are there are exceptional. I do like them. They were fun, and they were they were kind of cheesy, some of the sequences. But this little homage to stunt doubles and action stars, it hit in just the right way, and I really did enjoy it. And yeah, there's not much more you can say about The Fall Guy. Definitely go check it out. This is something I would say is a good weekend experience for some popcorn and a good couple of laughs. But what did you guys think of The Fall Guy? Have you already seen the movie? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Disagree with what I'm saying? Leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, we would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel or like and share this video. It really helps the channel grow, and I really enjoy hearing your feedback. I read all the comments and I try to respond to everybody that I can, and I really appreciate the words of encouragement and all the engagement you guys have put into the channel and all the growth that I've seen recently. I really appreciate it, and I especially want to thank you all for watching our last Chuco's Power Pick. We've started the Chuco's Power Picks recently, and it's just a new series that we're doing here at Chuco's Powerhouse Cinema. I'll link one up top so you guys can check that out at your leisure. But I really appreciate what you guys have done for the channel, and I hope to see you guys continue to leave your thoughts below, But with Ryan Gosling's performance as a stunt double, it reminds me of something my friend Cliff Booth used to tell me, and that's